In the grim darkness of the far future, where there is only war, I, Brother Sergeant Valerius, stand at the head of the training halls where the new recruits are forged into warriors. The young aspirants, barely men, come from all walks of life, chosen for their strength, their resolve, and their devotion to the Emperor. It is my duty to shape them, to ensure they become something more than human, something that transcends the frailties of flesh and embodies the will of the Imperium. Kalen Vark is the first recruit to catch my attention. His wide-set shoulders and stoic gaze speak of years spent in the slums of Necromunda. He is no stranger to violence, having fought in the Underhive since he was a child. His movements are calculated, almost instinctive, and when I tested his strength in the arena, he held his ground against a veteran sergeant. But what strikes me most is his unshakable faith in the Emperor. He prays before every battle, muttering words I do not recognize. It is the fervor of a man who believes his place among us is destined by the stars themselves. Yet, there is a hesitation in his eyes when the simulation intensifies. Will his belief be enough to withstand the horrors of war? Only time will tell. Saren Delvok, hailing from the agri-world of Calixus Prime, is a study in discipline. His back is straight, his arms as thick as tree trunks, yet his mind is focused solely on the art of war. He had no desire to leave his home, but the Emperor's call is one that cannot be denied. Delvok wants to be more than just a farmer. He wants to be a legend. He talks of victory in battles, of the great wars his chapter fought in, and the honor of dying for the Emperor. His dreams of glory shine brightly, but in the depths of his heart there is fear. The first time I sent him into the arena, he froze, hesitating just long enough for his opponent to land a strike. He has the strength, but the will? The fear that holds him back in that moment is the same fear that will confront him in the heat of real battle. It will take more than strength to overcome it. Then there is Eric Zan, an orphan from the war-torn world of Fenris. He is a wolf among sheep, his eyes burning with the same wild fire I saw in the eyes of his ancestors. Eric is a natural-born killer, the blood of the Astartes coursing through his veins, and he has no patience for anything other than combat. He's the first to volunteer for the toughest trials, the first to charge into battle simulations without fear. Eric's confidence borders on arrogance. He often brags about his strength, his skill with blade and bolt gun, but it's his lack of empathy that concerns me. He views the recruits around him as tools, things to be used and discarded. The coldness in his heart may one day save him, or it may destroy him. The question remains, will he learn to value his brothers in arms, or will his desire for glory leave him isolated? Lyral Orsk is different. She's quiet, thoughtful, and observant. A former scholar from the Forge world of Mars, she was trained in the sciences before she felt the call of war. Orsk is a woman of few words, but her actions speak louder than any sermon. I've seen her analyze combat strategies in a way that few men can. Her mind is sharp, quick, and precise. But there is a tragedy behind her eyes. I saw it the first time I pushed her into a combat scenario. She hesitated, not because of fear, but because of hesitation over whether the violence was justified. Her struggle to reconcile her intellectual nature with the brutal realities of war is something I've seen before in the past, and it will be a great test for her. If she can reconcile the two, she will be a force to be reckoned with. If not, she may crumble beneath the weight of her own ideals. Finally, Dorian Core, a former guardsman from the Cadian system. His hands are steady, his mind sharp. But Dorian's journey to the Astartes has not been an easy one. He has seen too much of war, the kind that strips men of their humanity. The scars of battle are visible in his haunted eyes, and I suspect he was pushed to join the Astartes not by desire, but by the need for redemption. His progress has been slow, and often I find him standing at the edge of the training grounds, staring into the distance, as if searching for something lost. He's not a natural killer like Eric, nor is he driven by ideals like Saren. Dorian is here because he believes in something greater than himself, but his battle will be won against his own demons. He is torn between the man he was and the warrior he must become. As the days pass, each recruit faces their first real test, the battle simulation. It is a brutal affair, an arena where the recruits are sent to face waves of enemies with no protection other than their armor and their will. I stand on the sidelines, watching each of them, observing how they react when faced with true danger. Some rise to the challenge, others falter. Kalen Vark charges into battle with the fervor of a zealot, his faith guiding him, while Delvok hesitates, questioning every move. Eric charges forward, the bloodlust evident in his eyes, while Orsk calculates every strike with precision. Dorian, on the other hand, simply survives, his mind clouded by the ghosts of his past. Over the course of weeks, I see each of them grow, yet some still struggle with the weight of what it means to be a space marine. The transition from man to warrior is not one that is made lightly. They will fight on the front lines, facing horrors that no mortal could comprehend. And they will be forced to make decisions that will forever change them. Not every recruit will survive. Not every recruit will make it through the crucible. But that is the price of war. As I continue to train these young recruits, I am reminded that the Astartes are not just soldiers. They are the Emperor's chosen, the last line of defense for mankind. The galaxy is unforgiving, and only the strongest, the most determined, will survive. These young recruits, with their dreams and ideals, will soon learn that the reality of war is far harsher than they can imagine. But in time, they will become what they were always destined to be: Space Marines.